Thanks for coming this evening. It's a cool evening for me. To see all these new people walking in the building. My name is Jeff Ebert. I'm the principal here at Muhlenberg Middle School. And thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to at least learn a little bit about what's going on with your sons and daughters coming up in the next really 3 months, 4 months at the most. Well, we really start in August. And tonight's presentation is really an event for you to get your head around what's going to happen. Because coming to middle school, for any new kid, it's kind of like getting on an airplane for the first time. You ever watch the dynamics of someone who walks onto an airplane? They sit in their seat, they're pulling out the barf bag, they're looking at the Sky Miles report, they're looking and talking, they're getting nervous and fidgety. That's exactly like a 7th grader entering the building. They have no idea what they're doing, they don't know where they're going, they're excitable, they get a little nervous because you're going to take off. And taking off is kind of like the start of school. And then you get to the flight, you start coming down. That's kind of like the middle to end of 7th grade. And then in 8th grade, it's smooth sailing, everything's going well. And then you hit 9th grade, that's like the last 30 minutes of the flight. When you've been on there, you're like, all I want to do is get out of this cabin, I've been breathing the same breath as everyone else, the guy next to me is snoring, he's bumping into me. And that's pretty much what middle school's like. So tonight is an opportunity for you to just think about and help, when your son and daughter comes home, what it's going to look like for them and how is it going to be an impact and a change to their life. And it's just an opportunity for you to get a glimpse and realize it's change. And change can bring stress. Change can bring excitement. New beginnings is an opportunity to start over. You know, every kid coming up from 6th grade gets a new start if they walk into this building. And it's exciting. It's exciting, I'm sure that, you know, being a parent myself, I know in the transition through school years, it's even nerve-wracking for me. And tonight is just to kind of let you explore about what's going to happen here. And at the end, I'll be here. There's 4 of us here tonight. 5 of us that will answer any question you have. We'll stay as late as we need to, because I don't want anyone to leave here not having a specific question answered for them. Because we're in this together. Tonight is the first day of our relationship for the next 3 years. And we want it to go as smooth for you and your son or daughter as possible. And it truly is. We had a night in February, we kind of talked about scheduling. And we got more in depth about classes. Well, tonight's about what are our son and daughter going to experience, and to give you a heads up about that. So again, you know, I can't thank you enough for coming. This is a great turnout. We're going to keep plugging away. We're going to get you some more information too, and so we'll go over some of the things about the middle school. Then we're going to go into scheduling. We're going to go over big themes. We're going to talk about things like lunch. Lockers. What do we have to get involved in? I'll challenge everyone at the end of the evening. You'll hear me say it again and again. Get involved. An involved student is a happier kid. It's a more relaxed person. They make more friends, and it makes our community as a whole stronger. Because ultimately, we want a strong community. So, with that, we're going to get started. I'd like to introduce the people here with me tonight. Ms. Venza, she's our assistant principal here at the middle school. We have Mr. Treese, he's our dean of students, and he deals with, team here deals with all the student-related issues that happen in our school, both good and bad. Then we have Mr. Ranko, who is also here tonight to serve as, he's going to be your son and daughter's guidance counselor for the next 3 years. And he's already met everyone, and we're excited. We got him coming this Friday, I believe. So they'll get to experience a little bit more. The other 2 guidance counselors are here this evening. One is out on maternity leave, and the other one has been working on our schedule, and that is Ms. McLaughlin and Ms. Trexler. And also tonight we had a teacher, Mr. Lurchek, who's one of our 8th grade teachers, who's going to give you a perspective. If you have any questions about what does it look like when you're in middle school sitting on with a teacher from their perspective. So one thing you're going to hear about over and over again, over our building, and as it transitions into their life, is being kind matters. And it's not something that we take lightly. It drives everything we do here. We want to have a positive system, not a punitive system. Like you do this, you get this consequence. The idea is how can we impact each other? Because truly, middle school is a social, emotional, and academic journey. When you're in elementary school, it's about the person, a lot. And then as you transition to middle school, we start getting into heavier academics. You start getting into heavier coursework, but it's about the student finding themselves as well in that journey. And so to guide them through that, we want to talk about being successful people. And how that starts is by being kind. So we talk about things with our non-negotiables and about being kind and treating everybody that you come in with respect. The kids around you, the people you sit with. We talk a lot about empathy. Not feeling sorry necessarily for the person who you're sitting next to, but how your decisions affect those people. And that's a hard thing to learn. But we're in a community together in this little building. These 4 walls, there's 4 walls of this building are our community. And we all affect each other, and the way we interact with each other is really, really important. Our second one is taking responsibility. We're going to talk a lot about owning it. Ownership of your own learning, ownership of your actions, ownership of how you work with others. And as we get older and as we mature, and as your sons and daughters are going through this process, that 12 to 15 range, the ownership is something we probably, as parents, we talk about all the time. How do you own it? How do you own what your decisions are? How do you take responsibility for your actions, whether it's doing your homework, or taking out the trash, washing the dog, being in class and studying? Because you're going to have, sometimes you're going to come home and say, man, I don't have any homework. The answer is false. You can always have homework, because you should be studying. But that's where the responsibility comes in. We're giving this gradual release of responsibility as parents. And when I say gradual, when they're younger, we want to hold their hand, take them to the bathroom, move them, don't let them out of our sight. Then we start letting them ride their bike a little bit further. They're allowed to go over to a friend's house without us going with them. And this is that gradual release of responsibility, but someone has to take that responsibility. And part of our identity here at Muhlenberg Middle School is taking that responsibility on yourself. And then the last one is showing pride in everything you do. If you have pride in something, you love it. Think of the things that you go to learn. If your work's being displayed, the effort you put into it is that much greater. So we instill the idea that pride makes a difference in every single thing we do as a student or as a person. And that goes beyond just what we're doing academically. It could be our school. If you see trash on the ground, you're picking it up. If you're seeing someone being bullied, you have to step in. That's pride in our community. And as an overarching theme, we've adopted being kind matters, because ultimately we want everyone to treat each other with respect, take responsibility for ourselves, and then own and have pride in what we're doing. So the school community, the number one thing is when we walk in the building every single day, we want kids to feel safe. A safe kid learns better. Now we realize that this thing called the internet out there can mess it up a little bit, especially in those pre-teen years. Does no one, the kids these days, they don't have the off button like we did when we were in school. They go home, everything follows them. They start on Snapchat, they get on Twitter. And as we release responsibility to them, we expect that they're going to be using those things responsibly, but it doesn't always happen. So as kids enter, one of the things we've always talked to is reach out. See who you need help with. Feel safe and secure here, because if you're safe and secure here, you will ultimately be more successful. And we are truly a community, and we balance each other. The other thing we talk about is, in life, you're not always going to be best friends with everybody. But going back to our message of being kind matters, you have to be respectful and work with those people. And we go back again to this is our building. You hear me talk a lot, and Ms. Benson talk a lot to the kids. It's not what we do as a principal and the assistant principal or what the teachers do. It's what the kids do that make this place special. I always talk to them about they should feel that they are number one. They have it. Every kid I've met here has it. And it's now believing in ourselves that we can take that next step to be great. And it's so neat to see that they're growing and learning in this way. And as they become our 7th graders next year, they're adding a value to our school by what the uniqueness that they bring. Do the right thing is something we talk about constantly, and just how we can support those around us. What are we doing to make this better? My big hashtag for it is just be respectful. If you answer in your mind, is this respectful? And the answer is no, in any way, shape, or form, just don't do it. If you see something happening that's not right, own it and put a stop to it. There's almost 900, or we'll be close to 900 kids next year in the building, about 870. There's 65 teachers. Kids need to help one another. And they do. And they start to learn that they drive this community, not us. And it's pretty special to see. And like I said in the beginning, one of the things that's so cool about the middle school experience is getting involved. So when we talk about special classes, like you had gym, music, we have the STEM classes in the elementary school, they're specials. Here we call them exploratories because we're in the final stage of making an elective choice. So over the first 2 years here in 7th and 8th grade, they are going to get an opportunity to explore everything that we can offer here. Foreign languages, technology education, computers, art, music. It's called an exploratory on purpose. They don't get to pick whether or not they're in it, but we're asking them to explore it so that as they become adults or young teenagers, when they have to make some decisions and choices, they can then elect to go into it. So we say, get involved. You're going to see throughout this presentation, we have a plethora of opportunities to get involved. It is not a single club, it's not a single activity, it's not a single sport. If we don't have something that they feel that would get them more in contact, we will start it. We have teachers that want to get involved. We have teachers that start things for kids all the time. We start things to build our community. And we give that as an opportunity for everybody. And so we're open to suggestions as our kids change and grow, and they have different interests, or we see different topics come up, we evolve. So it's kind of, it's not never set in stone what we have extracurricularly, but we want everyone to get that opportunity to explore and learn something about themselves and what they like, so that as they go into the future, they have a more distinct path. And then when you have a distinct path, when you have goals and you set that and have a vision, you're much more likely to achieve it. So we're in this 7th and 8th grade, new middle school, the exploratory phase. So one of the ways we at Muhlenberg try to get to know our kids better is we place them on teams. So in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, you will be put into a smaller community called your team. We have 2 teams, the blue and the gold. Each one of these teams has a set of 4 teachers: English, math, reading, social studies, and science. Part of the middle schools is that when I talked about that emotional development as well. So we shrink our class. In this case, it's as I checked this morning, it's 293. It shrinks it into about half. So those group of kids go through and meet the same teachers, have the same experiences, have the same interactions, so that we can, on a micro level, really get to know them better. As we go through this, we will randomly assign kids. Now, as you get to know kids, sometimes we move them around, but these teams that are set are completely done by the computer. Actually, our computer's doing it this week. So you don't have to worry as my brother was on the blue team, my sister's on the gold, my older siblings on this. It's okay. We're all doing the same things. It's to organize us so we get to know the kids and serve them the best we can. Students that are on teams have a better opportunity to make a connection. You know, they can relate because everyone has the same social studies teacher, so they know what's going on in social studies and they can talk about it. It's an opportunity for the teacher and the students themselves to make stronger bonds and relationships with the people they're working with. We emphasize collaboration and working together. And as we step in this intermediate school, of the middle school, prior to getting to high school, we want to isolate that so that they have an opportunity to truly grow together and have the opportunity to work through those trials and tribulations of growing as a team. And what's really cool is because the teachers are all there together with them, they grow with them and they get to learn how to support them better. And part of our schedule is the teachers meet and discuss what's going on in everyone's class so that we can better serve the kids that we have in our charge. Because ultimately we want everyone to be successful. The last one is part of our teams is we gear them towards building bridges and opportunities for them to learn together. So we have community activity days. We have little competitions. We do team building activities. We grow together as a group. Teams can change from year to year. They're not consistent from 7th through 9th. But the ultimate goal, again, comes back to growing as a smaller community and getting them the things that they need so that we can serve them better as they transition from here and on to the high school. And my last point before I get into the end, I'll turn it over to Mr. Trees, is communication. The number one foundation for a successful relationship, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your relationship with your kids, is communicating. The same goes here. We need open-minded communication between all of us. And that communication starts from the school. So things that we do. We put post grades online a lot quicker than you've been used to. So we have Home Access Center. You should be on those constantly, getting involved to see where they're at. Contacting when you have questions. Checking their student planner every night. We want to develop habits of success. So people who are documenting what they have to do, checking it off, it's successful. And we're trying to read that. We're trying to teach that. We encourage that students become the first line of their own learning. They become advocates for themselves. So part of you'll see is just as you gradually release that responsibility, we want them to be the ones that say, Mr. Rupert, I don't understand this. How can I get better at it? How can I do this a little differently? We don't want to have them to rely on you. So we want to be here. And that's why we foster that communication between the pairs. And all of our teachers really go out of their way to utilize the assignments and the web series because we need to communicate to home. One way is that our teachers update every day assignment logs, so that their websites are showing what homework is. We use Google Docs that are accessible on our website for every team. So teams of teachers will post their assignments daily so that you know what's happening. So if Johnny says, oh, I don't have any homework tonight, and you might not believe Johnny, you can go on and look. And it's there because we're not in that one or two teacher realm anymore. We're going to have 5 teachers. And we want to support Johnny in making those good choices. And, please email, call, communicate in any way you need. From a school, I can make the promise that we are looking for ways to increase the communication between us to better serve you. Like tonight, we're videotaping this. Next year we're gonna look to stream things live so that if people can't make that, we want to increase the access you have to the information, because we want everyone to be able to take a part in what we're talking about. Because we're in this journey together as a team for your son or daughter to grow. So before I turn it over to Mr. Teresa again, I thank you. We're going to go through some more steps in our school and give you an opportunity to run over to Mr. Teresa.
Good evening, everybody. Taking responsibility for yourself. So, a part that we all believe philosophically is very important for middle level education is students being recognized for all the positive behavior they do on a daily basis. And that's what the TRI system is really all about. It's the way we kind of track things at the classroom level, behavior things that take place. It generates a lot of communication for our teachers. It's a good way that the teachers have some substantial things to communicate home to you as parents and everything like that. Most importantly, on my end, the TRI system is what tells me when kids are doing things really, really well. And that gives us a chance to be creative and encourage our teachers and our team of teachers to constantly be recognizing positive behavior. A lot of times you hear about the negative behavior needs to be dealt with, and really, really great behavior needs to be highlighted. Well, we don't want that middle of the road where the kids that are just doing what they're supposed to do every day, all day long, aren't being recognized regularly. Right now we've implemented that we have one big recognition activity a month that kids get to be a part of. Kids get their successes highlighted with rewards at lunchtime. They get special things with their teams. The teachers do their own rewards. Teachers do things within the classroom on a weekly, a monthly, a quarterly basis. So we're constantly trying to find ways to recognize positive behavior more and more often. And the TRI system is really just kind of a navigation for us, or kind of a compass for us, to make sure that we're making database decisions and communicating home the correct things to the parents. You may hear us talk about it more in the future. You may hear me have a conversation with you about it. It should usually be all good things. It's a way to hold kids accountable while getting to highlight their successes and the things they do positively. Now we're going to talk about kind of the functions of our day, how things go here. In our building, we open the doors at 7:15. So at 7:15, the only doors that students can come into are right out here where you guys came in this evening. Okay, so from that time, from 7:15 to 7:30, kids have 2 choices. And they only have 2 choices because our office isn't open until 7:30, the nurse's office isn't open until 7:30. Nothing is open, no classroom teachers are available without some sort of prior permission or knowledge that we know about. I'm the person down here every day, probably at least 180, 185 school days. And kids can go to the cafeteria to eat breakfast until 7:30. As in, they can go up there at 7:15, they get to hang out and eat until 7:30, then they get released to the home base. Or they come and sit in the auditorium. The auditorium is always supervised by multiple adults. And that's when they get to kind of wait until 7:30 when our school days officially open and we officially begin. One thing I will say is that, it gets very cold outside, and sometimes there's a couple buses that sometimes get here right before 7:15, and some parents have to get to work. So if you're worried about your kid being overly cold outside or anything like that, there's always me and a couple teachers that are willing to get those doors open a few minutes earlier when we see a crowd starting to gather, because we don't want kids sitting out there freezing. We understand all that. Just so you guys know, when the winter months come, I've seen how chilly some of those kids can look after a walk-in and everything like that. Once they're in here from 7:15 to 7:30, The really, really important thing is at 7:30 a bell will ring. 90% of the time a bell rings. From that point on, students have 10 minutes to get to their meal intervention, or excuse me, their home-based period, where they start their day. 10 minutes. I will tell you from this corner here to the other corner of the building, it's a pretty hefty walk, but kids do it in 4 minutes. So 10 minutes gives kids ample time to do a couple things. Go to their lockers, get organized for the morning. It gives them a chance if they need to maybe stop in at the office, hand in a pass, all that kind of stuff. If they maybe need to ask a question very quickly of another adult, they have 10 minutes to do that. As long as 2 feet get inside that home base, they're here on time. But it's really important that with middle schoolers, and especially with the 7th graders coming up, you have to understand, we completely understand that they might not truly know where they're going the first week. We're going to fill these hallways with all types of people to make sure they know how to get there. We're going to teach them the lay of the building. Their home-based teachers are going to have time with them to kind of show them how to operate their lockers and do everything like that. So you don't have to worry. We do a whole lot of things, put a whole lot of things in place to make the 7th graders feel very, very comfortable. Speaking of lockers, so this is something that people might have some experience with, maybe not. Just kind of a fair, a common sense type form. Each student's going to be issued a locker. They're going to have their own lock. They're going to have their own combination. Okay? It's just very important that your son or daughter keeps that combination private, wherever they decide to put it until they can memorize and everything like that, get used to using a locker. Keep it private. The teachers there to assist you, the 7th grade teachers, most of them teaching 7th grade for a long time. They are excellent at teaching kids how to use these things, how to use all types of stuff in middle school. But we just want everyone to understand that your locker becomes your own little space, your own responsibility, your own little thing to keep organized. And it's a great tool, I think, for students to actually get better academically, because it kind of teaches them, much as adults, we have to organize our house, we have to organize the village, we have to organize things like that. When you're a 7th grader, the only thing you're going to be asked to organize is a binder and the things in your locker. So I think it's an important step at the middle level that really helps kids out. And don't worry, kids are all going to have an opportunity to practice at orientation with Mr. Urenko, so that should make everybody at least have a little bit of familiarity with the lockers. I'm now going to turn this over to Mrs. Venza, our assistant principal, to talk a little bit about our academic day.
Good evening. I wanted to talk a little bit about meal intervention period. You heard Mr. Ebert and Mr. Shrees talk a little bit about it, but we're going to get a little bit more in depth. Meal intervention period is from 7:40 in the morning until 8:26. And this is an opportunity for students to get help if they need it, for anything that they need help with, in math or reading, anything that they need help with. They can go to a teacher. The teacher can request to meet with them. They can request to meet with specific teachers, and that's when they can get help. Kids hear me say this all the time. There's really no reason that any student should struggle, because we have this built into their schedule so that they can get help from anyone they need it from every week. This time is a time also that they're going to have opportunities to go to certain clubs that we're going to be starting, and other activities are utilized during this time. So it's a really neat time that they can get academic help. They'll have social and emotional kinds of activities that they can get to do with their peers and teachers as well. And this is a big thing, parents. If kids tell you, I don't have to do the homework at home, I can do it during intervention period, don't buy it. Because they never know when a teacher might request to see them. And they have to go and work on remediating in math, or to make corrections on a test or something like that. And then if they get called to be with that teacher and they didn't do their social studies homework, then they get to class and they're not prepared. So make sure that they don't try that when they tell you that they don't have homework or they can get it done during the intervention period. Each student will be given a planner. This year's planner looks like this. It will look a little bit different for next year. And it has our handbook in it, and it also has pages for them to put their assignments for the week. And it's set up so that there's a column for each day of the week and a spot for each of their classes. This is really important for our students to carry with them to every class, every day. And we want them to write their assignments in for every class, every day. So it also helps with, building that responsibility so they know what they have to do, they know when something's coming up, things like that. And it's a really great idea if you could ask them to show it to you each night so that you also know what's going on. And then you can also check it if they forget to write something down or you're not quite sure what it means. You can go on the website and check their planner and what they have written down against what's on the website. So please encourage your student to use it, to share it with you, to check it against the website. And also our students' passes are attached in here so they take it with them all of the time. So it's kind of like their passport for navigating around the building as well. Cafeteria. 7th grade eats all together, so your students will just be with 7th graders during lunchtime. It's about half an hour of time. They'll eat around 11 o'clock in the morning. And there's also, just like in elementary and Cole, they have, an entree and things like that. There might be a little bit more of a choice for food, different kinds of foods here at the middle school. And then students also have the opportunity to buy snacks and extras after everyone gets to go through the line. They can also pack if they would like to. When we come in, we will show them where they sit. They'll sit with home bases to start the year out. And we really encourage our students, this is where the show pride in ourselves and our school comes into place. We really encourage our students to show pride in our building and to make sure that they clean up after themselves. They help clean up the tables, the floors, and everything like that. So it's ready for the next grade that comes in. And that's just one of those things we're helping them to take responsibility and to help out to make sure that we're showing pride in our school. It is a time for them to get to be with friends and to talk to other students. It's a little bit more relaxed time. We certainly have all of our school rules in effect and everything, and there's plenty of adults up there to help if there's any issues and if there's any questions. But it is a little bit more of a relaxed time during the day when they have a little bit of downtime. Dress code. This is one that I deal with a lot, especially when the weather starts to get a little bit warmer. But it's, when we talk to our students about it, we just want to make sure that, we're dressing in a positive and tasteful manner. A lot of times when I'm talking to our students, if you look in the mirror in the morning, you're like, ooh, I wonder if this is okay. Probably change and save it for the weekend or in the evenings. A lot of times outfits are really cute, they just aren't appropriate for school. When shopping for students, just please make sure that the pants, their shorts are about fingertip length long, that holes, a lot of kids will wear jeans, but when they have holes that start up really high, that doesn't work. The holes have to start a little bit lower. And making sure that undergarments, bellies, and their backs are covered. And anything that has, words or pictures on it should promote a positive message. Sometimes, like they're saying, sometimes students wear things that, we don't think are appropriate for school. So we'll ask them if they have something with them that they can change into. If they don't, we can always check the nurse's office. Sometimes she has some things that we can loan out. And as a last resort, we may contact parents and ask them to come bring something that they can change into. Electronic devices. Students over here, how many of you have phones with you? A lot of you. And most middle school students do have a phone or some kind of technology that they have with them and like to use a lot, and we get that. But here in the middle school, we want to make sure that everyone is safe, that everyone's making good choices, and that our main focus is learning. And sometimes technology, is used a lot in our learning process as well. But we just need to make sure that that's in an appropriate way that's supervised by the adults. Sometimes teachers may say, hey, if you do have a smartphone, bring it. And that's okay, but it's under the supervision of that adult. We just want to make sure that no student is put in a situation that becomes unsafe or embarrassing or causes some kind of harm. So that's why we have these pretty important rules about technology. So when students come into the building, we ask them to turn them off, put them away, and then put them in their lockers for the day, unless directed by a teacher to bring in. And after that period, they would be directed to put it back into their locker. And then they stay there until the end of the day. When they leave the building, of course, they can take their phones and use them. If a teacher or a staff member does see a student with a phone, they will take them and have them down in the office. First time that somebody has a phone taken, they get it back at the end of the day. If it becomes a habitual thing, we may need to call parents and have them come and pick it up. But again, it's just so that our students are safe and that we make sure that they're used appropriately. And we would ask that you also talk to your students about that and help them to understand why that's so important. The end of the day. Our students are dismissed at 2:50, and at that time they'll leave their last class and go to their lockers. And then students who participate in after-school activities or sports will go to that location. And then anyone else that is a walker, they'll go out and exit the building from the front lobby doors out by the flagpole by the office. And that's the only door we ask them to exit from because we have staff out there to make sure that they can cross the parking lot safely. And any students who ride the bus, after they go to their locker, they'll come down here and we have them sit in sections. The buses come in 3 different waves. We have them sit by those waves so that we can have them dismiss appropriately and get out to their buses so that we can stay on time. And we also have staff down here helping students get to the right place. And we'll certainly, the first couple of weeks, making sure that if anybody gets turned around, we'll head them in the right direction. And Mr. Urenko is going to talk to you about schedules.
Okay, I'm sure you're all curious as to what your child's schedule might look like for next school year. So we do have a sample schedule up here that I'd like to go over with you next. Mrs. Renza spoke extensively about what that meal intervention period looks like, and that's what we start our day out with. Every morning at 7:40, your child needs to be in their home base to start their intervention period. Okay. In addition to that, and all the other things that go on during meal intervention, if your child's in band or chorus, this gives them a chance to meet to rehearse for band or chorus. And I know down at C. Cole, some students weren't allowed to be in chorus or band because they weren't able to make it there before the school day starts, but this actually occurs during our school day, so this allows every child the opportunity to participate in chorus and or band. One of the things you'll notice too, if your child is in chorus, they would meet on days 1 and 3, so they still have days 2, 4, 5, and 6 available for meal intervention. And if they're in band meets on days 2, 4, and 6. For those students who are very musically inclined and they're in chorus and band, they still do have that day 5 available for meal intervention. So if they have to see a teacher to make something up, they would have some time to do that. One of the first things that your children were surprised to see when I came down to talk to them was that school starts at 7:40, and that's kind of early. They're not used to that. But the nice thing is it also ends a little bit earlier than what they're used to, so they get out at 2:50. So that they kind of enjoy the fact that they're going to get out earlier, but not that they're going to have to wake up early in the morning. They have 4 minutes in between every period to get from class to class. Okay, so there's plenty of time for them to get from one end of the building to the other. Most of their classes are going to be very close to one another, so we try to keep them confined to the same area. So most of the 7th grade classrooms are pretty close to one another, with the exception of science, and if they're down in this area for music or chorus, or their science classes, which are across the hall. Also, as you can see, every student will have English every day of the cycle. They'll also have social studies, pre-algebra. All of our 7th graders eat lunch together, so they will eat at 11 o'clock, right in the middle of their day. And then after lunch is over, they would go to period 4, which on our sample schedule is science. They have reading every single day. And then if you look at period 6, for example, we have our computer and our health/phys ed block listed there for you. Now, any of these classes could occur at any period throughout the day, so there's, looking at the sample schedule, it could look just like this or it could look nothing like this. But all of those classes will be in their schedule. So our phys ed will be 2 days a cycle. So for example, they might have phys ed on days 1 and 3. And then on that day 5 where it says health/PE, that's when they would have their health class. Okay, and then on the opposite days, on days 2, 4, and 6, is when they would have computer. The last period that's listed here is period 7, and they will take 4 exploratories in 7th grade. So for 1 quarter, they would have tech ed, where they actually build a bridge out of balsam wood, and they build a roller coaster in there. There's art for a quarter, there's music, and also family and consumer science. So some of these classes are brand new for them, and they've never had before. So they can look forward to seeing which one of those exploratories they like. Okay, does anybody have any questions with the schedule? Okay, homework and testing. I know that was talked about earlier too. All the homework is listed online. There's a link that's updated daily or weekly if the assignments don't happen to be daily. You can click on the middle school's homepage, and you can go to the homework link, and you can find all of your students, teachers listed there, and all of the assignments that they have posted for that particular day or that week. The Home Access Center is something that you want to get familiar with if you haven't already. That is an opportunity for you to check your child's grades. That is also where you'll see your report cards and your quarterly progress reports. Keeping you informed. Our open house is going to be September 14th at 6 p.m. We do have parent-teacher conferences scheduled for November 21st from 3 to 6:15. Mrs. Venza talked pretty extensively, I think, about the planner. Something that they want to make sure that they utilize that regularly, write down all their assignments, their tests, and their quizzes so that they don't forget anything. Once again, our school website is a great place for announcements, check for extracurricular activities for grades and homework, and also your report cards. Does anybody have any questions at all? Okay, next I want to talk to you about extracurricular activities. Once again, we do have band and chorus. We also have an annual musical, and our stage crew is the people that are responsible for putting on the sets, moving them around in between scenes. They're also some of the people that are in the back there running our sound tonight. We also have intramural sports. We do have various clubs and PIAA sports. Okay, some of the sports we have here, I don't know if you can read them from where you're sitting, but we have football, soccer, cheerleading, volleyball, field hockey, track and field, cross country, baseball, softball, basketball, and wrestling. Okay, and some of the clubs we have are the Acceptance Club, the Chess Club, the Debate Club, Peace Crew, Art Club, Student Council, and AV. Do you want to talk about?
Peace Crew is a club that meets weekly that Officer Moreland, you can see him in that picture, and I started 3 years ago. And it's really a service club where we try to do things for in our building and in the community to volunteer and do community service. Some things that we've done are food drives. We've collected money for pediatric cancer awareness. We've done a sock drive. This summer we're going to be doing a school supply and backpack drive and try to help so making sure that every student can have supplies that they need to start the school year. It's really an opportunity to work with a lot of people together, working to make our community and our school better.
Okay, the last thing that I have to talk to you about is the student orientation, which is going to be in August, on August 17th. We do a lot of different ice-breaking activities. We have students that get together to get to see each other and haven't seen each other for the entire summer. It's also an opportunity for students to meet somebody new, maybe make a new friend before school starts. We do some group juggling, we get to know one another. We take a tour of the school through a scavenger hunt, so they get to know where all their classrooms are at, the library, the cafeteria, the main office, the guidance office. So all the important places that they need to know. through that scavenger hunt. And then we usually end our day with some giveaways. We also practice opening the locks. I know Mr. Teresa mentioned that earlier. It gives them an opportunity to just kind of figure that out so that they don't, it's one less thing they have to worry about on the first day of school. If your child's last name happens to start with A through K, we'd like them to come in the morning session from 9 to 11:30. If their last name starts with L through Z, we'd like them to come in the afternoon session. If you're in the afternoon session but you can't make it, you're welcome to come to the morning or vice versa. But we'd like to keep them separated by the way the alphabet is set up there. And we'll send a connected call home to remind you guys about that a little bit closer.
So we threw a lot at you. Your head might be a little bit spinning. That's okay. We're here to cultivate this relationship between you and us for the sake so that we can serve your children. I'm extremely excited. This will be my first start at Muhlenberg for the beginning of the school year. I got here in October. So your sons and daughter are going to have an extremely special place in my heart. It's going to be the first group that I get to start with. And I'm excited. I know our staff's excited. We have, and what I tell the kids every day is we have an opportunity here to make something extremely special. And the reality is they don't know how far they can actually go. The kids that I've met here have been spectacular. They love coming to school. They're happy when they achieve things. And talking to Dr. Gittman, the same thing I can hear about the kids coming up. And having them become such a positive part of our community and to make an impact. We don't want people just to be here, but we want them to impact it. So the way we kind of do questions, because I know a lot of people don't like to raise their hand or want to get out. The four of us, we'll be up front. If you have any scheduling questions, you can see me or Mr. Uranko. Any student-led questions, see Mr. Treese. Ms. Benzick, if you see anyone with any long lines, she's the jack of all trades, so she knows everything. So she's the one to access. But the goal is just one last thing for scheduling. We will have your son or daughter schedule prior to them coming to orientation so that one of their time here, they can go from class to class to class and know what it's like. Again, using the airplane analogy, everyone's going to come in, they're going to be a little nervous. Once we get on that flight, it's an awesome time. Relax, and then that 9th grade year, they're ready to get the plane down on the ground and move on. And so let's, if you take away, it's just let's have a great time. Let's stay connected. We're here to serve you and to serve the community. So if you ever have any questions, don't ever hesitate to ask any one of the people who are here or any of your sons or daughters' teachers. We want to help, and we're here to serve. So, with that being said, thank you so much for coming tonight. For those of you who have questions, you may come on down. And I'll see your sons and daughters Friday. So, 1 o'clock, tell them to be ready, because I'll be ready. All right, have a great night.